Good morning, everyone. Sorry for the blip if you had tuned in previously. If not, I welcome you to Monday morning. I hope that you all found some moments of rest and renewal over the weekend. And I'm curious, how are you? How are you feeling? If I were to answer that question, I would say this morning I'm feeling a little introspective, reflective, contemplative. Perhaps it's because of the colder weather coming in, and maybe I feel a little bit of a spirit of hibernation coming upon me. Maybe it's because we're now mostly past the election, but I'm feeling a little contemplative and reflective. You know, we began these daily reflections 8 months ago, right? Back in March when, at the start of the pandemic. And what I've been thinking about is what has happened over these eight months? What have these 8 months been like? And one thing I keep coming back to is the concept of community, where I've been inspired by community, where I've been supported by community, where I've been able to help build community, and still where I'd like to see community in my life. There's so many beautiful things that I can think of. Just random thoughts to think about over these last 8 months, as we've really been struggling with a global pandemic. A friend gifted me an elliptical machine so I could have a machine to use and not have to go to the gym and worry about, my personal health and safety. And wasn't that nice? And I'm loving using the machine. I need to use it a little bit more, but it's so nice to be able to be able to get a little exercise as I'm working from home. Helps clear my mind a little bit. I was thinking about when we had our shelter-in-place order here in Colorado, we unfortunately had to put on pause the woman who cleans our house and helps us clean house. And we talked about that quite a bit, my partner David and I, and said, we're still getting paychecks, so let's keep paying her throughout this. And that was a way that we felt community. It was something that we've really grown to love her, and she's kind of part of our family. And so we wanted to continue to support her. But then we've also just been so pleasantly surprised. We had one evening a knock at the door, and here was our friend, this woman who comes and cleans our house, and she had a pile of freshly baked pineapple empanadas that were still warm. Just wanted to express her appreciation to us, to keeping our little community together and our relationship. It was something that we were able to do, and that was the right thing to do. And that was so beautiful. I loved, and they were really yummy pineapple empanadas as well. I was also thinking, we stopped getting haircuts at the end of February. And my partner and I have learned how to cut each other's hair, and I think it's going pretty well, don't you? Who would have thought that I would have learned to cut hair, right? Or even feel comfortable doing that? The first couple attempts were not pretty, were not pleasant, but it happened. And so there's all these ways that we've been experiencing community, building community, being inspired by community. And so that's what I'm personally reflecting on today. And I want to ask you all, during this time of pandemic, where have you been inspired by community? Where have you been supported by community? Where have you experienced community? And where do you still want to build community in your life and in your families, maybe in your workplaces? We are in a place right now where I think we can think about that. I was also thinking about a business collaborative that we saw grow from the ground up this summer, a collaborative of some businesses on the west side of Denver who partnered together and have created this great system of supporting each other. There's restaurants, a women's cooking collaborative that's making homemade salsas and baking, and they've decided to pool all their resources and create kind of these this joint venture. And so anyway, there's lots of ways where community has been built, where we've learned new things, and I think it is okay to pause and reflect a little bit. I actually encourage us to pause and reflect. And so again, I would love to hear from you all. During these 8 months of pandemic, where have you been inspired by community? Where have you been supported by community? Where have you experienced community? Where do you want to continue to build community around you? I would love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to share them in the comments. That's what I'm reflecting on today. I feel very fortunate to be supported by so many different types of community, and I feel very grateful for this religious community, this community, church community, where we can come to each other with our cares and concerns, our joys, our not joys, the areas where we're struggling, and support each other. So thank you all for the community that you've been to me these past 8 months, and I look forward to continuing to journey together. Have a good Monday, everyone, and we'll look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.